Accidentally killed
smashing
my
Goku from
friend.
buildings. Bro, imagine you're
No,
walking. Bro,
no, you just
imagine
hear
fucking
Goku in the
Samus just walking down
background.
the street.
Kamehame.
You
Hey
see
man, you
the big
ready
ass
to get?
beam in space. You see the big ass beam in space, like they're at it again, ain't they? Yeah, and then not even 30 minutes later, you hear the loudest fucking scream from Goku. Yeah, yep, there he's going again. He's doing it again. um, no, this stage transitions. No, stage transitions say otherwise, dog. Stage. Bro, you're literally
That
tickling
man,
them.
that
They're
man
looking at you
Hercule,
like,
that
bro.
man Hercule did a dynamite kick. All he does is hammer at his opponent, and you just see his opponent just look at him like, niggas, that's it.
And then go, and then Hercule
But
yells out like,
the one
yes.
thing I like about that is the moment Hercule does it the third time, Majin Buu just steps in and does it.
Yeah,
Like,
here's the thing about dynamite kick, right? If Hercule's at low health, right, it actually does damage.
Yep.
So basically, he has to be like hurt to the point where he can still fight, but not to the point where he's like dead.
he's like
Yeah.
on death's
And you see,
doorstep.
no, there's not a single Hercule that can compare
Like,
from that can compare to Xenoverse Hercule because this nigga can actually make motherfuckers flinch. He can actually do
oh
damage.
yeah,
He
oh
can actually do
yeah.
damage, bro. Z,
Hey, yo,
Z,
Matt, remember
Z
the time I used Hercule, Super Saiyan Hercule, bro?
bro, like he's not OP. He actually
You
reached
say,
Super
wait a
Saiyan
minute,
level.
Hercule actually got combos?
He actually got combos, and this nigga actually can make niggas hurt.
What's
Can
crazy
make
is I dodged a death beam combo with his head bob. And then said this nigga Hercule got Ultra Instinct. Say you thought Hercule was just known for rapid punches? No. Hercule got hits for real. Like, in terms of normal human standards, right? Excluding Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha.
yeah.
Yeah, like, in terms of normal human standards, Hercule is technically the strongest ordinary human.
Krillin is.
No. Krillin is superhuman. We don't count those.
Yeah, but he's a human though. He's still classed as
We
human, so he's way
we
more
don't
powerful
we don't.
than.
I said excluding Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha, specifically those three. Yeah, they're superhuman. Krillin is ordinary. Or Krillin isn't ordinary. He could fly,
Krillin
shoot
is the
ki.
strongest human. Krillin is the literal strongest human, bro.
You realize that, like, okay, if Pan can, not Pan, if Videl can basically learn key control and learn how to fly, Hercule can do the same.
Yes.
But do you think he's going to? No, he's
But
not.
no, but like I'm basically trying to say, if Videl has powers, right, say like on the same type of urge as somewhat Krillin's, and somewhat Hercule as well, but like it's gonna be Krillin. Krillin's like stronger than Tien as well, so.
Yes.
This man fought Super Saiyan Blue Goku for like about sort of 5 fucking minutes and fucking like went unscathed. He did pretty fucking well.
Yeah, and he was doing all that in front of his shorty.
You don't, you do not see Tien doing that, nor Hercule.
Mink, mink, mink. Yeah, he was literally doing all of that in front of his Beijing. Like, yeah, watch me, bruh. Watch me do
Yeah.
this shit. Watch me box Blue Goku while Goku was just giggling in the back like, yeah, bro, aura form. I can shut this shit down if I want to.
Literally.
He was just making Krillin look OP as shit in front of 18. That was all he was doing. That's why he went blue.
He did it perfectly though. He succeeded.
Yeah. Now, comparing to Blue Goku against 17, that's completely different.
Yeah, that is.
Because 17 was not
17
even
is still human.
what, not well, not
No,
you,
technically still an android.
And
No,
mind
it's a
you,
cyborg.
in the Tournament of Power, this motherfucker for some reason could mount, grab, and shoot the sun back at someone. How the fuck?
Yeah, 17 and 18 are cyborgs. They're not fully robotic.
Yeah. Obviously, they have human DNA.
No, they're just
That's
cybernetically enhanced.
yes, which is why, so for some logical reason, I mean, the most logical reason ever, all of that explains how 18 was able to have a fucking baby in the first place.
Yeah.
Damn, I
still
just
has a
lost
working
my
vagina.
damn case.
She's just cybernetically enhanced.
Yes.
She's still human, just cybernetically enhanced. Thus the term cyborg.
Obviously, he doesn't have normal bones like we do. She has metal bones and whatever the fuck.
Plus the infinity engine.
I'm Sam. Hey.
I like how Goku wholeheartedly admitted that if 17 fought him in the past, 17 would have likely killed him.
No, you see, that did happen. You see, the timeline from where Trunks comes, that is literally the original timeline. Like, Goku as a Super Saiyan was not challenged for both 18 and 17. He would have been grasped.
Goku died of a heart attack.
But still, even for Super Saiyan, bro, look at how they did Gohan, dog. That would have
I
been
still remember
Goku.
watching that one episode, bro. I just remembering it.
No,
like
that,
it was yesterday.
that ass, bro. Gohan was
Oh
Super
my
Saiyan,
God.
and this nigga knew how to box. That would have been Goku. He would have stand no chance because he would only be Super Saiyan 1. If he went all the way to Super Saiyan 3, now that is a different story. But Goku at that timeline, he could only go to Super Saiyan 1. He was grasped.
What, are we gonna set up a 3v3s or something?
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing.
Like, you know, or at least like an endless or some shit, you know, I'm bored.
Yeah, I mean, we can do 3 endless. I don't even know. Light is just quiet.
Uh,
Also for 3v3.
Imagine if it was future Gohan who went to the past instead of Trunks.
You know, that would have been actually a lot better.
No, it wouldn't have made sense because, you know, as an example, right, it was really confused. No, like, remember, Gohan was already born at that time, right? And they would have realized that was Gohan messing up the time continuum, right? Messing up all of time. So Trunks was born, but they didn't realize that Trunks was, you know, born at the time because, you know, Goku just came back and Trunks wasn't introduced until then, until the androids attacked. So it wouldn't have made sense for Gohan to go. It would have made more sense for Trunks to go. Because then you fuck up all of time.
I could wholeheartedly say.
I mean,
the future Gohan.
It still doesn't make sense because either way the timeline is messed up because a future motherfucker went to the past. It would still make sense if it was either Trunks or Gohan.
But yeah, like no, it would have been more perfect to have Trunks because, like I'm saying at the same time though, it's just like if Gohan suddenly appeared right in the future and then basically blew all this, then yeah, it would have been really fucking confusing and really fucking weird as well.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, the future Gohan of Dragon Ball Heroes is the future Gohan we needed.
Sad thing that is just.
And to honestly speaking, I can already tell that future Gohan, that we know, that he died as a homie, as a nigga. He is actually way better than the Gohan we know now. Mind you, the Gohan we know now, this motherfucker has talent. This motherfucker barely knows how to fight. This nigga has talent.
No, but
Simple as that.
I would say I would still respect, our current Gohan, to be honest. I do, me personally, I do like future Gohan, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, he had a potential, and he had fighting potential as well, but it's just like, I just like our current Gohan because he's had more character growth throughout the years, Remember, future Gohan was stopped.
Actually,
His growth was stopped at a point after Goku died, so mostly all of his potential was thrown away. With our current Gohan that we saw in the Cell Saga, if it wasn't for him, all of time and the universe would have been destroyed.
I
So,
mean, mind you
Gohan
that
Future
the
was the
future
stepping
Gohan we know is
stone
the same
towards.
Gohan as the same Gohan we know from the Cell Saga. Just that, well, obviously, the future that future Gohan has, the current timeline, as I said before, is basically his timeline where he spends the entirety of the time training and whatever to stop the androids from doing what they were doing.
But you can
However,
only do so
the
much with
Gohan
it,
we
like
know,
Super Saiyan 1. Like,
yeah,
with Super Saiyan 1, you can only go so far. It gets two
yeah.
androids that, are above semi-grade 2 Super Saiyan. Like,
Mhm.
it's really hard to, deal
Actually,
with that.
the Teen Gohan from the Cell Saga, he managed to transform into Super Saiyan 2, which means that future Gohan could, but for some reason he didn't.
No,
Maybe
no, no,
because
no,
he
no,
wasn't.
because that is two different points in time, right? So, with the future, okay, how do I explain this? Gohan didn't have future Gohan didn't have the capabilities because he didn't have the 16 trauma, right?
Ah,
He didn't have that flip, right? So he couldn't have went Super Saiyan 2, right? It was only in that instance when Gohan and Android 16 got along and actually formed a connection, and then with that whole ass speech that fucking 16 gave, it basically gave, Gohan the ability to unlock his inner rage. That's what Goku was
yeah.
expecting. So, I completely understand you, right? But at the same time, if it were to happen in the future, it would have to be different circumstances. And when I'm meaning, Trunks would have to die. But that didn't happen.
It would have been a different kind of canon event, which honestly I believe, in following the Saiyan logic, the more anger he accumulates, the stronger he becomes, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And
But
maybe
unfortunately,
probably
Gohan
if Trunks would
Future...
have died in that future
Yeah.
Gohan's timeline, maybe he would have actually gone stronger to the point that he could have actually transformed to Super Saiyan 2 and body the android.
Yeah.
But maybe,
Unfortunately, Gohan Future's, canon event was Trunks. Trunks was
yeah,
Future's... Yeah, Gohan Future's canon event,
yeah. But honestly,
So, for
the
him to
writers
go to
preferred,
Super Saiyan...
yeah, the writers preferred Trunks to have the canon event. And honestly, some people prefer otherwise because maybe future Trunks, future Gohan, instead of future Trunks, could potentially be one of the strongest characters in the series, you know. But he would have not found a way to go to the past because fucking Bulma was dead, I think, right?
What?
And I think future Gohan would have not found a way to go to the past like Trunks did because Bulma was dead, I believe. So he would
Wait,
have stayed in his
after when he
timeline.
got the time fluid and after when they basically got the time machine, as soon as Future
Wait,
Trunks was
did
going,
Gohan?
Bulma was killed.
Yeah. So did Gohan know about the time machine? I don't remember.
Uh,
I don't remember.
I don't remember myself. I think he didn't. For what I'm remembering, he didn't really remember, but he could have. But I don't really know. I haven't watched it.
Yeah,
I haven't
but
watched it in
that's
years.
what I'm saying. Like if Gohan would have had the cannon mode instead, he would have killed the android. Say it was like that. He would have killed the android.
But he wouldn't have been
He
able to
wouldn't
say
have found a
Goku from
way.
the future
Yeah.
though, because
Future?
of
Oh,
the
from the
heart
past.
virus. He from the future. If they destroyed the androids, right, and then Cell appeared, right, he could only stop Cell in the future, but he wouldn't be able to save Goku from the past. So it's just like it would all break off. So if Trunks died, they can't go help revive Goku, right? If
Yeah.
Bulma died before the time machine, they couldn't go back in the past to help Goku. It all connects to Goku. Literally, somehow it all connects to him.
Yeah. He would have not stopped the seed or whatever. Honestly, I don't even think they did. And they didn't had a way to do it. I believe because they had to, bring the Dragon Ball away. No, the Dragon Balls would have not worked because they cannot shoot.
They can't. No, that's sensu beans.
Yeah, only the sensu beats. But I believe the androids took
Trunk,
care of all that.
Goku wouldn't have been able to provide because of how much for Dragon Balls can grant wishes. Remember, there is a limit to certain things. You can't revive people twice.
Yeah. Which
But
would
you
have
technically
actually
can as
only
well
left
with
the
the
story strong.
upgraded Dragon Balls. But that
Yeah,
just really
but
depends.
that was not an option because I believe that timeline Piccolo was not that how do I say that?
Dende was introduced in the Cell Saga.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was not an option then. It would have been like damn because he doesn't remember the time machine. He would have stayed in his current timeline, and it would have actually happened. So Gohan would be the only motherfucker alive in the whole world without a chance of going to the past or future. He would stay
He
in
was
that time.
for what I remember, he was only Gohan, Bulma, and Trunks, and a few other survivors that survived the android's rage. If I'm correct, I might be completely wrong,
Few
but I don't
survivors.
remember.
Uh,
A few survivors, yeah.
yeah. So honestly, yeah. Thinking
No, I
about
think
it.
I'm thinking of Dragon Ball Super. Like Goku Black didn't kill everyone because there was a resistance. Yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. There was but eventually that resistance will grow larger to quote unquote stand up against Goku Black, and fight in a war. But that's pointless because not even Trunks, my other resistance had a chance against this motherfucker. So Trunks had to go back to the past again to warn them about this menace. But Goku found a way to go to the past as well with his ring. Who
That's Goku
created the
Black.
ring? I don't even know.
It was a whole plan with Zamasu, basically from Goasu. He killed Goasu and then took a time ring.
Uh, but why
Like,
was Gowasu why did Gowasu was wearing or created the time ring in the first place? What
have
was he
you
actually
watched Dragon
doing?
Ball Super? I just want to double check. Like,
Probably like one time only. I haven't rewatched the whole Super Saga, so that's
Ah,
why I'm
fuck.
having like I'm just realizing this stuff. So why did Gowasu have the time ring in the first place? I know he was a Kaioshin, but what was he
Gawasu
actually
isn't the
doing?
only one that has the time rings. Time rings were created for them, to watch over history and do
yeah.
different jobs.
Think of the Supreme Kai time, right? She watches over
Supreme
history.
Kai time
The
would
Kais
also
are
have.
supposed to, yeah, the Kais are supposed to look
Protectors
over
of the
time and the
timeline.
universe as
Yes.
well, yeah. So, that's what they're used for. God of Destructions are meant to destroy, basically, Grand Zeno is supposed to, bring banks to all the multiverses, and etc.
So
Yeah, but
Gawasu isn't the
in this
only one that
case,
has one. It's just they were given it to make.
They're
sure
not
this
supposed,
fight
the
was
time rings are
created.
not supposed to be used for evil intent, but Zamasu took advantage of that and used them for more evil intents. Basically, killing Goasu, taking over Goku's body with the Super Dragon Balls in a different timeline, then proceed to try and corrupt the other Zamasu, which, fought Goku in the current Goku that we fought, right? There is such a big fucking thing with Dragon Ball. There was two different timelines during this, right? So, when Zamasu was fighting Goku in Super Saiyan, that is when the Zamasu in the other timeline basically fought Goku and then stole his body and then became Goku Black. But during that time as well, whilst fighting Zamasu, he basically realized that Zamasu and Black's ki are the same. So that's when he kind of put two and two together that, Zamasu and Goku Black are kind of the same, but you had to have more proof. It's really hard to explain. Like, I would need to watch it and talk at the same time, but it's just like, I'm not doing that.
yeah,
Who's there?
yeah, because when you think about it, it really just circles back to that. Like all these events that happen involving the past and the future, like these events were meant to happen if the timeline, wasn't messed up. So eventually, either one ends or the other, either the android or Goku Black. You know, these events were in the original timeline,
What are you doing
but
here?
there was always a Trunks who traveled to the past to prevent that, which is crazy.
No, most Trunks died. No, it was only happening in those timelines. It was only happening in those timelines. No other timeline was affected. it was basically a butterfly effect, you know? Something that happens when you do something, like what Goku did. When Goku fought Zamasu, that basically triggered the butterfly effect upon him basically becoming evil because of a mere mortal being so fucking strong. And was like, oh, I need this strength to basically, you know, eradicate all mortals. And that's basically when they set their sights on going through all the multiverses and basically just trying to
Now
kill everything, you know?
the only thing is though, if Zamasu didn't lose to Goku, his whole mortals need to be exterminated.
How'd you track us down?
Your neighbor got hooked up to the Carol network. Service now extends to the whole region. I let myself in with this. You can use Carol printers now too.
Guess it's time we thought about moving. Maybe further south. You know, I'm surprised you used the front door for once.
My jumping days are behind me. Overdoing it left me with some kind of syndrome. They call it jump shock.
You care for a drink?
Thank you, but no. I should get straight to the point.
Business, huh? I mean, for a moment there, I thought maybe you wanted to catch up.
I have a job for you. Take it, and that whole mess over how you left Bridges will be wiped from the record. You won't have to live in hiding anymore.
What about Lil?
That's a little more complicated. We're talking about a Bridges asset. You'll have to work it out. Sam, you brought America together. Helped it be reborn as the UCA. But I'm afraid the Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still in danger. Still on the brink of extinction. Don't act like you don't see it. A lot of things changed after you went off on your own. Especially within the UCA. Bridges no longer oversees the distribution network. They withdrew once things were up and running. So your friends and co-workers all went their separate ways. And that's not all. Die Hard Man is not the president of the UCA anymore. In case you're wondering who's handling distribution now, A Pass 4000 has revolutionized the whole process. It utilizes the Carol network to manage and carry out deliveries. Within network coverage, there's no need to rely on human porters anymore. And no need for Fragile Express, of course. So after I closed up shop, I went and started a new group. One that handles work in regions outside the UCA. We decided to call ourselves Drawbridge. And we still require the services of human porters that can work outside the network. Preferably ones with dooms who can sense BTs. Sam, I'm asking you to go to Mexico. To extend the Carol network to the south. Just like you did when you went out west.
You're asking, or is this coming from the UCA?
Both. The UCA came to Drawbridge, and now I'm coming to you. So, what do you say? Mexico has no shortage of beached things. Spirits of the dead washed up from the other side were stranded there just like everywhere else. Any human corpse that hasn't been properly disposed of will become a BT. And any living human that comes into contact with a BT will get dragged into the depths of the tar. Giant BTs can and will emerge from the tar as well. And if they succeed in consuming a living human being, they'll trigger a void out, destroying everything nearby in a massive explosion. Several Mexican cities were wiped off the map in this way. The survivors have since become divided and isolated. As most people cannot see BTs, they live in fear of them, and that fear has made them too terrified to venture outside. Chiralium contamination is severe. Some areas have it worse than anything you experienced back in the UCA. The timefall storms are growing more intense as well. And, as you can imagine, everything in their path is subject to temporal acceleration. Objects and structures degrade rapidly, while animals and humans grow old and frail in the blink of an eye. Timefall often precedes the appearance of BTs there too. So you should do everything you can to stay out of it as much as possible. There are many other dangers, though. The rivers can flood in an instant, and earthquakes happen daily.
Seriously, why me?
There are several reasons I thought of you for this job. Deadman, for one. He's currently working at a lab in southern Mexico. I don't know the details, but the research they're conducting there is important. Very important. And there are certain things he'd like to tell you in person.
Well, that was one reason. You got more?
I do. And this one's serious. There is some BT territory near that lab I mentioned. They monitor the chiralium levels, and recently, they've observed unusual activity. The cause is still unclear, but they seem to think there's a good chance a massive BT is headed their way. And if they're right, then I want you there, ready to kill it before it kills them. Don't forget, Sam. You were the first person in the world to ever take out a BT.
Guess that makes sense. But something's still bugging me.
What?
All this talk about extending the network into Mexico. Isn't the UCA basically expanding their territory? Taking control? Claiming it for their own?
Sam, it's not like that. They're not trying to take over the world. They just want to link up new areas with the chiral network. Like the internet before the Death Stranding. Public infrastructure to connect people. Which is why, instead of turning to an established government agency like Bridges, the UCA contracted a private organization, like ours, who then decided to employ the services of a freelancer like yourself. So please, Sam, won't you help us out?
Yeah, all right.
So you'll do it?
Uh-huh. What about Lou, though? It's not like I can take my kid with me. If I do this, can you hold the fort for me while I'm gone? Like babysitter?
We're inside the network. There's a child care app I can use. It'll be fine. The lab is only a few days away. I promise he'll be back before you know it. Link up the region as you head south, and come home safe. We'll be waiting.
All right.
Go on. Slide it on your thumb.
Like a ring?
Try sticking your thumb out, like you're giving me a like. Access your ring terminal to view the map. From here you can check order details, as well as the cargo for delivery. Now then, let's review the mission that you'll be undertaking on behalf of Drawbridge. Your destination is a research lab in southern Mexico. When you arrive, you'll need to use the Cupid to connect it to the chiral network. Chiral communication utilizes the beach, where time barely passes. Using the Cupid in conjunction with the delivery terminal will allow us to initiate a zero-time massive data transmission. But because of the distance, it's not feasible to head straight to the lab to establish a connection. You'll need to use the way stations to extend network coverage until you're close enough to get the lab online. Your first stop is C1, Ciudad Nuda del Norte. Bring them a delivery and welcome them into the network. Improper corpse disposal remains a serious problem in Mexico. With every additional corpse that spawns a BT, the risk of a void out grows even higher. C1 in particular is struggling to handle this issue. But once they're online, we can give them the technology they need to address the situation. Why don't you take a look at the cargo you're carrying by opening the menu? You can access useful information about... To review the cargo currently in your possession, select Cargo Management. This is the cargo you'll need to deliver. Be sure to get it to its destination in one... It's an ex... We've given you some additional... All these... Be sure... Return to the menu when everything looks good to go. Finally, before heading out, make sure to plot your delivery route. Return to the map. See your destination? There's a river you'll need to cross to get there. There are bandits in the area too. Armed groups that have attacked borders in the past. Think about what route you might take from your current location. When you plot a route on the map, you'll see what hazards you may run into along the way. You can face these challenges head-on, or try to find a way around them. How you get to your destination is up to you, but think it over before getting underway.
Delivery route finalized.
Latest model Cupid. Just completed. We decided to put a hold on network expansion until it was ready to go. Like last time, you'll be using it to welcome people into a whole new world. It won't be any harder than before either. The Chiral network terminals are ready and waiting. Bridges saw to that. Emily's expedition split into two groups midway. The first continued west, while the second cut south into Mexico. But again, there were only